What is up, fight fans? This is Boxing Fanatico, and we're going to go ahead and break down the E3 gameplay trailer. We're definitely going to look at things that you may have missed. And for those who missed the trailer, first thing we're going to do, of course, is play that trailer back for you. It's a 2-minute trailer, so sit back if you haven't seen it and enjoy, and then we're going to go ahead and break it down.
Coming later in 2021, Esports Boxing Club brings you the greatest fight roster in video game history. With over 200 fighters already signed, we've got some of the biggest and most anticipated names.
The greatest of all time.
From the absolute legends of the sport to the most exciting names in boxing today. The first women's division ever represented in a video game, and the hottest new talent. Let's take a closer look at the next-gen visuals and gameplay that are set to make ESBC the greatest of all time.
It's good. It's definitely one for the grandkids and stuff to say, like your old granddad was in a game and busting people up. So it's going to be quite cool.
So the movement system in ESBC is all about fluidity, being able to create angles, recreating mannerisms from boxers. The physics system doesn't just rely on animation. This allows us to recreate realistic knockdowns. Even when a fighter's unsteady on their feet, it's not purely animation based. Now we've had professional boxers, professional coaches come into the studio and provide input through motion capture and actually reviewing the game during its development. And now we really feel like we've created a true representation of the sport. Presentation is important to us. We're still going to aim high when it comes to production values.
Esports Boxing Club coming to PC and all major consoles with early access in 2021.
All right, so here we go, guys. First thing that I want to talk about is something that a lot of people were referring to, and it's this right here. A lot of people are saying, well, look, this indicates that there is, you know, an entrance where you can enter the ring and wear robes and stuff, which I already know that you can wear robes because we saw them scanning people like Jamel Herring with their robe attire. Sinisa was being scanned with her cape. So I already know that you can enter, but this 100% is not in-game. This is not in-game. This is from this is all coming from like the Canelo reveal. You can see him entering here with the light. All of this looks like it's actually, you know, real. Doesn't appear to be anything that's you know, that's in game. And if we move forward a little bit, you'll see like how everything here it looks real. Even here, for example, as they're building the arena or building the ring, this is all real. And this is coming off of this footage right here, so it's all taken from real footage. So I wouldn't take this as being an in-game robe entrance, but regardless if it is or if it isn't, we know that that's probably going to be in the game since they were scanning them with their robe. All right, so let's move forward. A few things we want to go ahead and take a look at. Of course, over 200 fighters. One thing that I'm definitely going to mention is that this entire thing has a shadow tracing going on, which I don't think you see this, where it lingers and it's like it multiplies itself. The whole trailer is like that, and it didn't really do Esports Boxing Club any favors because it made it look like it was incredibly over the top blurry, when in reality, and I'll show you like two different things where one that they portrayed was without all of this shadow tracing, and the other one was, and the ones that we see here is all shadow tracing. So you can see this whole trailer, maybe the way it was uploaded or maybe just the effect that they wanted to put on it gave it a over the top shadow tracing kind of effect, and it really it could have confused a lot of people. So I definitely want to make sure that people are aware that the game doesn't have, you see how it's multiplying and everything, and it's like doing all that blurriness. The game is not like that. So this list right here, by the way, is crazy because what happened in this list is that an incredible amount of people were revealed. It was absolutely mind-blowing to me how many people were revealed from this clip alone. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and name everybody that was revealed. Maybe I missed someone, but I don't think so. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Flyweight, Jorge Arce, Humberto Gonzalez. Bantamweight, Lupe Pintor, Fernando Montiel, Daniel Zaragoza, and Rafael Marquez. Super Bantamweight, Israel Vasquez, Stephen Fulton, which is crazy, Ronnie Rios, Julio Ceja, Carl Frampton, Oscar Larios, Danny Roman. Featherweight, Andrew Cancio and Vladimir Nikitin. Super Featherweight, Gonzalo Fuenzalida and Mohamed Kuja Yakubov. Lightweight, Joet Gonzalez, Enrico Gogokia, Carlos Morales. Super lightweight, Pablo Cesar Cano, Juan Carlos Torres. Welterweight, Bredis Prescott, which is really cool. That's the guy who gave Amir Khan his first loss. Midyar Ashkiyev, Alexander Besputin, Javier Castillejo. Super welterweight, Humberto Soto and Berkram Murtazielev. Middleweight, Sakio Bika, Nikita Ababi, which is white chocolate that we found out during my live stream. Chordale Booker, David Kaminsky, Liam Williams, and Austin Williams. Super middleweight, this is a big one, David Benavidez, huge, and Caleb Truax. Light heavyweight, Chad Sudgen and Elvis Rodriguez. Cruiserweight, Jay Opataya. Heavyweight, Benjamin Adegbui, Gabe Flores, Justice Huni, and Arlansbek Makhmudov. And legends, they have Fernando Vargas and Jose Cuevas. But also, they have Sugar Shane Mosley Jr., which could very well mean Sugar Shane Mosley Sr., since it's legends and Sugar Shane Mosley Jr. is, well, let's be honest, he is no legend. So there is that. All of those people were literally put in this list and had not been revealed just yet. All right, so we move on. See all of this? You see how this is real? This is real. This is not in game. So I believe this all is connected to what we saw. It's the black and white stuff, and it's all connected to, being the real show, and that's also from the beginning where the person was wearing the robe. They show all the legends, and you can continue to see that shadow tracing effect, which is just it's not good. You see it right there too. You see how you see that all of this is just not good. I don't like that they did it, but they did it, so it is what it is. All right, we got Terence, Crawford, Lomachenko. First ever women's division in boxing, not really. I mean, it's definitely not the first ever women's division. UFC games have it. For boxing, it isn't either because Knockout Kings have it. But in the modern times, it is. We could just say that. It is for the modern times. Edgar Berlanga, we got all of these fighters here. Next gen visuals. This is stuff that we've seen already. This clip in particular. We've seen this already. Here we got a nice picture of Josh Taylor. Nothing to write home about, nothing crazy, just a nice picture of Josh Taylor. So yeah, that's basically it. A nice picture of Josh Taylor from the side, and it's cool to see him because I don't think we've seen his model yet. This clinch system, absolutely fantastic. I can't say how much I enjoy the fact that the clinch looks realistic. He got the over-under hook on Arturo Gatti. You could tell for sure because Arturo Gatti's glove is right here. So you know for a fact that Arturo Gatti's arm is under Josh Taylor's arm. For them to be clinched up in this way is nice, and I love that they showed it because they stated very clearly that this is a glimpse of what's to be shown in the control scheme trailer. So I think this is an amazing thing to add, considering the fact that we are now definitely expecting something about the clinch. And I definitely want to see what's the stuff that you can do. Can you throw punches in here? Like, can he lift his, like, this hand and hit him right, you know, on the side of his face? Is he able to do that? We're gonna have to wait and see. And is Arturo Gatti able to hit him up here, hit to the body, things of that nature? We're gonna have to wait and see. Let's go ahead and move forward from there. We got a picture of Arturo Gatti here. Nothing to write home about in this image here. One thing that I will mention though is that you can see that the recovery and the health and stamina is at 100% after the first round, which is a good indicator to me that there's a good pacing to the stamina, and hopefully you can play the game the way you want to play the game. I've always admired boxing games that just let you play the way you want to play. Yeah, have some stamina. If somebody's going crazy with one specific mechanic, like if somebody's just spinning around nonstop, using the sway mechanic, yeah, you know, maybe take something away from him. But if they're just using it to get away from punches and being slick and, you know, those kind of things, don't punish them for trying to be defensive, for trying to be slicksters. I think that this is a good indicator that it's not that aggressive. Also, you always take these kind of things with a grain of salt because they can manipulate the developers. I mean, for whatever purposes that they're trying to show, they could probably manipulate things, stamina and stuff. Like they can increase the knockout potential, decrease the knockout potential, just for what they're trying to display. Like if they're trying to show knockouts, if they're trying to show, you know, people not being tired. Like, we don't know for sure, but so far, if this was not touched, it looks like he went through the entire first round and his stamina is full and his health is full. And if we go to Josh Taylor, it appears to be the same thing on his end. So this to me looks really good. This to me looks really good. All right, so we move on. This is insane right here because this cut is incredibly graphic. It's his eyes completely shut. This is incredibly ripped open. I'm wondering if this is going to affect accuracy because remember, this is not a pinpoint targeted system. It isn't like a missile like in previous boxing games where it will automatically land on the target as long as the target is there. It is a percentage random physics-based system where your jab can land on a throat or your jab can land on a chest or at the top of the head or at the nose. It can be anywhere. Does it make it harder for you to land your punches if, you know, you can't see? And does it make it easier for your opponent to land their punches on you if you can't see from one side? We're gonna have to just wait and see. But the cool thing is that this just looks insanely realistic. They're gonna have to stitch that up after he's done. This cut right here looks nice, and his lip is swollen. So things that we normally don't see in other boxing games, we're getting here because, of course, it's been what, 10 years? 10-year technology increase. A lot can be done. A lot. And we move forward. They talk about the movement. You see, this is what I'm talking about. You see this shadow tracing? If you look at the gameplay from before, it don't have this shadow tracing. It's really clean. It's really smooth. There's no shadow tracing. For some reason, they decided to have shadow tracing here, and it's kind of a bummer, but it's whatever. It's just that it's going to give a bad, you know, presentation of what the game is, because we know that it doesn't actually have that shadow tracing. You see what I'm talking about with this, all of this stuff. It's not really good as a presentation on the presentation aspect, but I do know that it doesn't, you know, it doesn't have that in the actual game. Here we got more shadow tracing stuff. Here he is wobbled. Johnny Nelson is absolutely wobbled. And one thing that I've noticed is when they are about to fall or there's going to be a knockout to some degree, the health bar indicator is down here. You will see it. Notice Joyce doesn't have it. Johnny Nelson does have it. He is super hurt here. It looks like the front of his face is lit red and the side of his face is lit red. And then the side of his body is also lit red. He appears to not be defending himself, but that just could be that the person who's controlling him is not holding the block button, because remember, a lot of these things are to display what can happen or what's happening or what they want to show us. So for example, if you watch this and you think to yourself, well, in a real life a guy would try to defend himself. It could be the case, but maybe they want to show how it looks when somebody's rocked and they're just wobbling around. It all depends on what's the intentions of the developers of what they're trying to show us. So I'm not going to read too much into the fact that he's not defending himself, but also you could be so out of it and so wobbly legs like he clearly is, that you are kind of lost in the moment and you don't know what's going on and you're at risk of being knocked out. So here we get the lunging punch that we've seen before. Mouth guard flies off, and in a different direction this time. Before it flew off and went behind Joe Frazier. But cool thing with the mouth guard that I'm going to explain a little bit later on. I'll show you, or soon. I'll explain it soon. Here he falls. I think that's the one that we've seen before. Here he drops. It looked like he dropped from a jab. But he was probably ready to go. But as you can see, the life bar is on the top, and I'll show it to you guys. Life bar on the top as he's getting dropped. No life bar over here. So you see here, life bar on the top. The life bar is shown whenever somebody is going to fall. From what I've seen so far, here, same thing. Johnny Nelson, life bar on the top. Same thing right here. Aimbot, life bar on the top. No life bar for art director over here. Oh, this is what I was going to tell you about the mouth guard. If you see the mouth guard, if you pay attention, the mouth guard has his own physics. The mouth guard has his own physics. Look at the mouth guard right here. This is the mouth guard. It's going to bounce off of art director's leg and then bounce this way and fall. Watch this. Actually, it bounces off of his leg first, bounces off of the art director's leg and bounces back, and then gets pushed down with the body that's falling, with aimbot falling to the floor. So the mouth guard has his own physics. Look at that. It's like ping-ponging. It's like a ping-pong. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Mouth guard has his own physics. Insane. Unbelievable. He drops him, and of course, you can see life bar here. And he looks to be at, he was in an adrenaline rush. He was on an adrenaline rush, but he really taxed his overall stamina when he was in the adrenaline rush, which is kind of crazy. Drops him, boom. Realistic combat gameplay. So this is one of the things that I wanted to show. See, this is how I know that this blurriness or this shadow tracing is something that we won't be seeing, because of the fact that this is the clip that we saw. This is the clip that we saw in the alpha gameplay trailer, or this is what they were doing in the alpha gameplay trailer, and there was none of this shadow tracing. It was clean. So yeah, I just hate that it is in here. But one thing that I want to show is this is the first time, guys, that we've seen the full guard. This is the first time that we've seen how the full guard looks. Both of them put up the full guard. Both fighters did it. Hold on, right there. So head down, glove up. That's how it's supposed to be, man. That's how it's supposed to be. I love how they pull their heads down. He looks like he's pulling his head down a little bit more than Adelaide is. So Eddie Hall is a little bit more protective, I guess, of his head, of his chin than Adelaide is, which could be an amazing thing. That maybe there's different ways that people do their full guard, but I love how the full guard is done here. This is the first time ever, because I've been looking at the game like 100 million times in every single trailer. This is the first time we see how the full guard actually looks, and to me it looks absolutely fantastic. I want to see how much more things we can, what more things can we do with the defense itself in terms of blocking. Definitely want to see that. This is what we saw, the jab, and you can see all this shadow trait, all this stuff right here. It's not like that in the normal alpha movement trailer, so don't expect this. This just appears to be some type of an effect. This is something that was super interesting. The Haymaker Punch. Now this looks like it's the Haymaker Punch that they were talking about. And remember, they said these are glimpses of what we can expect, so they probably want to show us what the Haymaker looks like. and Arturo Gatti swings for the fences, and you can see Mickey Ward ducks it and then hits him with a textbook left hook. I love the juxtaposition of here's a haymaker wild left hook, and here's a textbook hand up. Everything, you see how his right hand is up, he shoots the left hook, everything is defensively responsible. So if you look at Arturo Gatti, he's incredibly telegraphed with his punch, so that means you're going to have to time that bad boy if you want to land it, while there's very low telegraphing from Mickey Ward, as it's a more textbook hook. Boom. Now when he does that, Arturo Gatti kind of takes a step forward. He takes a step forward and leans. I don't think this is him getting hurt because his life bar doesn't come up here. You don't see his life bar come up. So I don't think this is him being hurt. If you see, there's no life bar there. So I think this is the thing where you can step. I honestly feel there's a stepping mechanic. If you remember my video that I did on the first fighter announcement show when Josh Taylor was pressing stuff on the controller, you can see that he did like a step out. I think this is a stepping kind of system where you could step. He's stepping to one direction and leaning at the same time. It looks like almost an off balance kind of thing, but I'm really curious to know if there's a stepping system that you can do and how does that work, because it's just a step on with the left foot. It's not like he's moving forward. He's just stepping with that left foot and then leaning. That's what it appears. That's what he appears to be doing. We're just going to have to wait and see. But I love this difference. Haymaker punch, textbook punch. Love it. Two different animations. Normally when you see boxing games and they do haymakers, all it is that they make the animation slower. They don't make the animation different. This is a completely different animation compared to that animation right there from Mickey Ward. This is clearly from the Forbes magazine or the Forbes.com interview that was done. You can see that this is from that. They took pictures of it, and this is what they're displaying. We see Joe Frazier doing the check left hook. Awesome, unbelievable, love it. I love seeing that check left hook. Boom, lands it, hits him in the body, hits him with the right hook. And then here, this just further emphasizes the physics system. This is how you do the lunging punch, right? He ducks down a little bit and then he shoots, right? But because he basically used the lunging punch as a 2-for-1. He used it to dodge the punch, and because it's physics based, just because you're not specifically dodging doesn't mean you won't dodge, because it's all based on hit detection and physics. So if you're just not there for whatever reason, be it a dodge or not, you're just not there. So you can be really smart and really creative with how you evade punches. So he did a 2-for-1. He's like, guess what? I'm gonna counter you, and I'm gonna slip you and counter you with this one motion, the lunging punch or the gazelle punch. Hits him right there, perfect. Not enough to knock him out, of course, because we don't see that red bar come up. The red bar is the indicator if he's gonna get knocked out. This is another thing that I like to see. It's a hook that comes from the bottom. Boom. It looks like there's a lot of different types of hooks. Look at this one. This one is not super, textbook. He doesn't have the hand up like Arturo Gatti did. Like Mickey Ward did. So this is a different kind of hook. So we've already seen in this video like 4 different types of animations for hooks, and that to me is absolutely fantastic. For those of you who think, oh, they're all the same, all the animations look the same, it doesn't look the same. And I don't know what makes it different and what makes it the same, but it definitely doesn't look the same. We're seeing different left hooks all over the place. He hits him, and I love that step away. Right here, we see a crazy cut on Joe Frazier. Eye is shut, lip also swollen. Unbelievable. I love this. I absolutely love this. Absolutely love this stuff right here. Presentation. So this is incredibly telling. We got quick fight. So this is the main hub. Quick fight, continued career, create, and you could create a custom boxer, cutman, promoter, or coach that's over the top, and I love it. Store, new fighters available. A lot of people were like, oh my God, why is the store the biggest thing? Guys, every single company does things to try to make money. It's up to you if you want to buy the fighters or not. I think it's a fantastic system to have fighters that you can purchase, so that if you wanted the fighter, you get the fighter. As long as they allow you to use your fighter versus other people's who don't have it downloaded, you should be good money. Because trust me, if they ever put Shakur Stevenson in this game and they say you got to buy him, you best believe I'm gonna chalk up the $5 or whatever it is to have my man Shakur and be able to play online with him for sure. Then we got news here. This is cool. Then they got events, which I'm assuming is just if an event is coming up, you can go ahead and have that fight and it's already structured and ready for you. I don't know why they blurred this though. I wish I knew why they blurred this. It's got to be for a reason. This means something, but I don't know what it means. But this definitely means something. One cool thing I can see is local. This probably means that you can just play your friends at home, couch multiplayer. Career is also up here. Online is up here. So when you go on your online matches, My Boxer, probably to edit or whatever. And then Create is up here again, which is an interesting thing because we have Create down here. I wonder what this Create means. Can we go further with the creation? Is there like events, creating events, or creating, who knows, online stuff? You don't know what this could be. Anything can happen with this, considering the fact that we already have Create a Boxer and all that stuff down here, and none of the other stuff like that's up here is down here. Continue career, okay, fine, but that's not career. That's just continuing your career. Career is probably like all the menu stuff from the beginning. This is just a quick get in and get out, but there's nothing like quick fight up here or store or news or anything like that. So why is Create here twice? That's an interesting thing that we need to talk about or even just think about. And we move forward. I love this because I'm usually the guy that does this kind of thing here. I choose an existing boxer and then start a career because sometimes I can't be bothered with creating the boxer. But I'm probably going to create a boxer because I'm going to be creating content, and I'm going to create Fanatico, considering the fact that the name, the audio will be in the game thanks to you guys' support. We got Fanatico in there, so I'm definitely probably going to do create a boxer, create myself, and be, Edward Fanatico. So this is awesome. This we've seen already, all this stuff, the money and all these different things. We've seen this before. But I do want to look at this. Why does this say negotiate? This says back and this says negotiate. What does that mean? Are we going to be doing more than just selecting your fighter? Are you going to be negotiating from this point what promoter you want or what kind of contract you want to do? I think all of this stuff is interesting, and the fact that it says back and then negotiate, I mean, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Here is beautiful. We got, this is authenticity, guys. WBC, IBF, WBO, and we got so much more belts, but these are 3, and people are saying, oh, I only see 3. It could be that if you click here, they start to shuffle in, they start to shuffle in more belts. Like if you click if you move to the right and WBO centers, WBC moves to the left, and the next belt moves over to the right, like the WBA or whatever. So this is awesome. This is probably based on the rankings. If you could check your rankings, or you can go into the rankings for the WBC, whatever it is, this is probably what that is. This is probably just that ranking type thing. All right, let's move on to from here. Here it looks like it's the select screen. I know a lot of people are talking about that there's so much grammatical errors and things that are kind of redundant and doesn't make sense. For example, orthodox is spelled wrong here. The WBC heavyweight belt title, it should be the heavyweight title or the heavyweight belt. I get it. It's a lot of little things here and there, but all of that stuff can be ironed out. I think they just put this stuff together quickly so that we can go ahead and see something for E3. So I wouldn't put too much stock in it. I also wouldn't put too much stock on the fact that you can see Mayweather on the WBC belt is just simply the accurate belt. That I don't think that has any bearing on, who we like, the hidden fighters that haven't appeared in the game yet. This all looks cool. I love this, and I love that they have the actual renders of the character models for the select screen. Let's move on. And then that's it. Here we have all of the consoles that people want. They got Xbox One, Series S, X, PS4, and PS5. So I hope you guys are happy with that. Early PC access in 2021. They're not being specific, but the May update, or not the May update, I think the April update did say summer. And a lot of people are like, well, they said December, and then they said Q1, and then they said, no, guys. They always had it for December, but the project had elevated to AAA status quality, not just, you know, a good game that they will work on over time, which was their first goal. It elevated to a AAA status quality because of the explosion of popularity. That's when they decided to push it from the December date to a date to be announced, and it never was announced until the April update. A lot of people said no, they said Q1, and no, we, content creators, me, for example, predicted Q1. It wasn't that it was Q1, and maybe that's a little bit of my fault, but that's why I'm not predicting no dates or anything for the summer. It wasn't that it was Q1, is that we collectively were guessing and saying Q1 because of the fact that they said that the full game will release in Q1 after the December release. So they said December is the release for early access, Q1 will be the release for all consoles. And because December wasn't early access, we all assumed, well, then it'll fall into the Q1, but they never stated that. They stated summer. And if they said summer, I'm sticking to summer until they say anything otherwise. So if anything, for sure this is indicating a 2021 release. So for those who are saying 2023, 2024, it says 2021 right here on an E3 stage. So I don't think they're going to push it out of 2021. And I'm definitely, until they say otherwise, I doubt that they're going to push it twice because they've already stated the summer. All right, guys. So that was the breakdown, what you probably missed. Hopefully I showed you guys things that you didn't see before and you guys enjoyed it. I definitely enjoy making these kind of videos and looking at things, and maybe there are things that we can find later down the line in here, but for sure those are the stuff that I feel could have easily been missed from the first viewing, second viewing, or even third viewing. I'll see you guys on the next one. This is Edward from Boxing Fanatico, and I'm out.